Hi everybody, welcome to my new project. Today we'll be drawing a kitten in digital oil painting. I'm just starting off by creating a neutral background with which to work from. This will prevent me from having to choose colors from a stark white background, which will often have you choose colors that are brighter or more darker than you need it to be, just that you're compensating it for being on a white background. As you can see, I pulled up the picture of the kitten that I will be working from today. And I'm just going at it with a rough sketch going on right now just to get a sense of where everything is. So you can see it is a paint done with a darker brown color. It's not a black color, just so that I don't have it competing with the neutral background I just set up. I wanted to eventually blend into the colors that I'm going to be using. And you can see I've got a grid loosely on its face, just so that I know where to position the eyes and the nose in reference to the head. Now what I'm doing in the bottom right corner is that I am laying down some basic colors that I want to use throughout the kitten. As you can see, he's a lot of light colors, some light tan, some cream colors, a little bit of light pink, and this is offset by some darker browns here and there. So what I'm doing by laying down those colors on the bottom corner is that as I am painting, if I need to reference those colors again, I don't need to go all the way through the palette again. I can just use an eyedropper and pick up the color digitally. So right now what I'm doing on the kitten itself is just laying down, blocking some colors off. I'm doing the medium brown first, followed by some darker browns, and I'm just kind of marking off where these colors will be. At first I tried to treat this painting like a pastel, in all honesty, just by blocking off these colors and thinking that I could blend it in later. But apparently it doesn't work that way. Pastels are a little different from painting. So halfway through the drawing I realized that I've made a slight error in approaching the painting like this, and that it is a completely different medium from pastels. So you can see me attempting to lay down more blocks of colors and just trying to blend things in. But again, like I just mentioned, it's not going as well as I anticipated because, again, pastels are very different from oil paints. To be honest, back in the day when I did used to do a lot of art, oil paints was never my strong suit. So I don't know what made me choose it for this painting, but I just thought it'd be fun. And since right now I'm just trying to reintroduce my art into everything, I figured I might as well just give it a try. And back to the painting. So you can see I'm still attempting to blend in a lot, but every time I do, I lose some of the color I was trying to keep. And as I'm trying to smear it along the page just to make it a little bit more like fur, I end up losing too much of the color of the undertone. So I decided to move on to something else while I figure out that issue. And now I am just adding in some of the grays to the cream, and on its face, trying to give it some dimension and working some features out. And again, I've blocked in some colors on the left side of its cheek so that I know what colors I'm working from. Since the last drawing we did in pastel, this is working out a lot better for me as I keep remembering to use the eyedropper tool. And this way I'm not using like 50 million shades of medium brown. And now that I've gotten some more shades in, you can see me attempting to make his ears look furry. I don't think it's going very well. But I'm giving it a try. I think this is around the point where I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to oil paint. I don't remember. But I've gotten this far with the drawing, so I'm just going to keep going with it. And that is the real struggle we are watching right now. So this is just me going back and forth. I think I've decided to stop trying to make it look so fuzzy at this stage, even though the photo is a very fuzzy kitten. I've decided to just keep going on with the coloring and With the fur, I would just blend less and try to keep the strokes in a bit more. So at this point, what I'm really doing is just trying to get the coloring of the kitten right. And I am slowly adding in the strokes that I need just to keep it looking furry. Now I just keep working and working on the coloring of this cat or kitten, sorry. As I mentioned that this is becoming a real struggle for me as my natural instinct is to just blend everything, and this is just bringing back memories of why I don't oil paint much. Largely my memory said that I didn't oil paint much because it took forever to dry, but I'm just seeing that it's just have a natural inclination towards pastels and blending pastels more than I do for paint. But you never know until you finish something, whether you like it or not. So I'm still going on. As you can see, I've moved on to specific features now. I've got the eyes filled in, and it is starting to look more like the kitten in the picture. For any of you who've never had a cat before, though, if you look at this kitten's face, when their pupils get that large and they're in that you don't see my paws mode, that totally means they're going to pounce towards you. So if you're ever in that situation where the cat suddenly gets quiet, starts scooting his butt a little bit, and has his pupils wide open and black, they're totally going to pounce on you. So I'm just continuing on by creating more strokes on this cat just to try to get the impression of the fur. I've pretty much given up trying to blend it too much the way I originally was trying, as if this were a pastel, but have to give up on that. Now what I'm going to do is just to try to get a sense of how much work I still need on the kitten by working on the background a bit. And as you can see, I'm just doing the same thing I was with the kitten, where I'm just trying to get the midtones. On the photo on the left, you can see it is a black velvet background or black fabric. I'm not sure what it is, but it is definitely black. So I'm just working with a medium gray and working my way darker and then lighter. And you can see I'm just creating some of the darker shadows of the blanket or cloth, again, whatever that is. We'll just call it velvet fabric. I'm not trying to be precise here. Since the kitten is not exactly precise, I don't want the background stealing away attention from the kitten. So I'm trying not to be too precise here either. If you end up being too precise in the background, you will lose your focus on the main object. So just using the photo as a reference. And I'm kind of dreading that knitted blanket in the foreground, that hot pink color. It's not because of the color, it's actually because of the detail of the knits in there. But I'll save that for later. Right now, let me work on what I can. So now I'm just adding some of the darker shades to the dark colors I've already set. And this is starting to come out pretty well, I think. It is making the kitten stand out quite a bit, since it is not as precise, which is exactly what I wanted to, and I am blending it in a little bit so that it's not just weird scribbles on top of other gray scribbles. And now I'm starting to add in the highlights, and it is looking a lot more like the velvet fabric. In all honesty, while I was doing this, I kind of thought it looked a little bit like a zebra pattern, but looking from afar now, it does look a bit more like fabric creases. So for the rest of the painting, I do just keep working on the black fabric a little bit more. Do apologize about the constantly shifting browser window. As I kept working on the background towards the edges, it kept shifting the window for me. I had to shift it back into place. You can just see me working on more grays on the black fabric there. And I'm just adding in more mid-tones, some darker tones, and some highlights. and just kind of blending it in a little bit as best as I can. And again with the shaky window. um, so let me know in the comments below whether you guys are liking these videos or not, and what you think about this kitten video. Was there anything I could have done better? I could definitely use some advice with the oil paints. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like and subscribe down below. Would very much appreciate it. And as you can see, I'm pretty much done with the background now, so I'm just working on some details of the kitten. Decided to add some pupils. And I know cats don't really have pupils like that, but when you do take a photo of them, it does kind of show up like that. Just need to blend it in a little bit more. It's got this kind of like Sandman looking kind of eye highlight right now with just the one dot. And this kitten also has some like golden colored highlights around its eyes, so that's what I'm trying to add in. And ultimately, I decide that this does need that pop of pink color, so I decide to kind of add in a pink blanket that's not knit, and I just take the shades and the highlights from the knit blanket and add that onto my flat blanket, and hopefully that kind of worked. Let me know what you guys think. But there is the photo, replicated through my oil painting abilities. Again, just let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you!